Hey, we're Damn the Wolves. I'm Joe.
I'm Rick.
And I'm Steve, Phil and Sav.
You're listening to Now That's What I Call Damn Good Music.
The podcast.
Today we are talking about the fourth studio album by Def Leppard. Hysteria was released on the 3rd of August 1987. It was recorded between February 1984 and January 1987. 3 years. That's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time.
Fair stretch of time, isn't it?
It is.
I feel a bit better about some of the recording we've done.
I don't.
So I'm just for a bit of background, I'm sure that you guys know about this. It was recorded essentially 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the first time with Jim Steinman,
From Meatloaf fame,
Meatloaf fame.
Bonnie Tyler fame.
Yes, that's right.
I can't think of anyone else.
And then that was scrapped, and then they sort of started to produce it themselves
With Nigel Green.
with Nigel Green, who is Mutt Lange's engineer.
Not his wife. That was Shania Twain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Lucky bugger. Love a bit of Shania. My guilty pleasure.
Hang on, who's lucky?
Is that because
Him or
you
her?
feel like a woman?
Hey.
And then the third time, Lucky, Mutt Lange came back. So I think they did the pre-production demos with Mutt. A lot of it was written with Mutt, but he couldn't commit to doing the recording because he had exhaustion. I think he'd been working, burning the candle for too long. But he did come back.
Is that a Shania Twain song?
It would be a good one, wouldn't it?
I just thought
Burning
you
the
said it
candle.
like it was some sort of pun. But no, okay. I'll Google it in a minute.
And then he came back and kind of saved the day, and we got the masterpiece that is Hysteria. How many copies do you reckon this has sold?
Oh.
I'm going to say 12 million.
I'm going to say it's more than that because it's the height of album sales and CD
Oh,
sales.
I got it wrong again, haven't I?
I think it's like 30, 35.
Don't be an idiot.
I think it's around 20, in excess of 20
Oh.
million.
Oh, yeah, so it could be 30 or 35. That's in excess of 20.
Wow.
It's a lot of copies. How many copies do you think they had to sell, right, to break even?
4 million.
5 million.
Yeah, it's around 4 to 5 million.
Wasn't
Was
it
it?
like, wasn't
That's
it
to break
4.5?
even. Something, yeah, something around that, isn't it? To break even on production costs. And I think at the time, whether it's changed now, it was the most expensive album ever made.
Mm.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
That's partly the time, I guess. That's a lot of money in the snack bar, isn't it, at the studio? A lot of time in there.
It's a lot. It's a lot of gear rental.
It's quite stressful, wasn't it, for them? I think they spent weeks and weeks on small parts of songs, and I think it got quite a lot.
I think that's how they wanted to do
Yeah.
it. I think that's what they set out to do.
I think that's where it went wrong with Jim Steinman, isn't it? He came into it thinking he was going to make a raw rock record, and they wanted to make this heavy metal pop crossover
Mm.
that appealed to a much wider audience. And I think that the vision of Mutt Lange, along with Def Leppard, was to make the heavy metal pop version of Thriller
Yeah.
with
Oh,
sort of
right.
like 7, number 1 singles on it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why they went for 7 and not 6 or 8.
Well, it's a lot of people's lucky number, isn't it?
Oh, I suppose so, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Should we delve in?
They only had 3 years as well. If more hits, it would take longer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Delve in.
Let's
Delve in.
go.
Good.
Track 1, Women.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with a little bit of controversy with this song. Lovely song. It's an amazing song. Do you think it's an opening song for an album of this caliber?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. In vein of the album, yeah. Yep, I do. I think
Joe?
it's a good opening song.
I think when I listen back to it, because it's not an album I listen to a lot, but it's obviously something that we grew up with. It's one of the first bands Rick and I probably got into, isn't it, Rick?
I can remember. Sorry, we're going back. Sorry, this isn't on the song. Sorry about our opening song.
No, we should talk about where we were.
I
when-
can remember liking Def Leppard before I really understood music. Certainly before I could play guitar or was really that ever entered my head. So I would have been a kid, like a proper kid, without having, without really understanding music or anything, just going, I like this. And it would have been I guess the loud drums, which are very digital, very 80s, and the colours of the album and the whole thing without really getting it as such as like you do when you're sort of a teenage when you get into music. It was before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. As far as I remember, this is the first vinyl album you ever owned.
Yes, but you've remembered wrong.
It wasn't, was it?
No, do you know what the first one
Oh.
was?
Shame on me.
The Who.
No,
Shania
well, I
Twain.
wish it was.
Shania Twain.
I wish it was the Who.
Shania
I'd sound
Twain.
cooler. Oh, I don't know. It was Michael Jackson's Bad.
That's
That's
right.
cool.
That's the
right.
first LP. I remember having it on vinyl. It'd been. That's how young I was.
Yeah.
And then I had Def Leppard Hysteria. Then I
Yeah.
borrowed Van Halen's OU812.
Okay, we don't need to know your life in music.
And then it was CDs.
So I remember seeing your vinyl, and I think everything, the logo, the artwork, and obviously the sounds coming off the record player were really exciting. And like you, I was really, really young, and this is the first thing that kind of turned my head into louder music.
Do you want me to tell you where I was with this?
Yeah. Does it coincide with the first track, Women?
Well, kind of it does.
dear.
Because when this came out, I was a very young drummer buying Rhythm magazine every month and taking a centre page out and sticking it on my wall next to like Kylie and Belinda Carlisle, T'Pau, those. So that I'd have like Tico, and then Rick Allen was featured in a centre spread. So I had Rick Allen sandwiched in between T'Pau and Belinda Carlisle. Lucky bugger. But so I wasn't a Def Leppard fan, but I was certainly a fan of.
Oh, I'm trying to think how many times Rick Allen in his life has been described as a centerfold.
So I was never a Def Leppard fan, but I was certainly a fan of drums.
So you were aware? Were you aware of them as a?
Of course I was. Yeah, I mean, I'd listen to the charts every Sunday, and seeing where Bon Jovi were. And obviously the big singles were released and being played and the top of the pops. But you go back to the 80s, it's like that's all we had. We couldn't look at your phone and stream stuff, could you? So apart from the big singles, I wasn't ever really a fan. But I understood, the Rick Allen, obviously with his story and everything else.
I think if I think back and I'm honest, I remember the live VHS video, which was called
Live in your face in the round.
In the Round.
Or in the round in your
More
face.
than I remember hearing the music. So I remember seeing the visuals and just thinking this band and this stage and this everything is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember rightly, Rick, there might be a pair of boobies in the first song.
Get on.
No, it was the second.
Anyway, going back to Women.
You what from what?
So one fact about this album that I did learn is that in Canada, because it was a bit of a slow burner over the water, wasn't it? So it went big in this country.
I think it went sort of stratospheric after pour some
yes,
sugar
that's
on
right.
Came
And
out.
after portion some sugar
That's
came
easy
out.
for us to say.
yeah.
Are you both all right? Have you both been pouring
But
some sugar?
this is a true fact that the birth rate in Canada shot through the roof on the back of this album being released because people were making love.
Is that something to do with love bites in
Probably.
particular?
Probably.
Because okay, well we'll get
We'll
there.
get to Love Bites.
Sorry,
Don't know if I believe in that. When did they release the album? Like Valentine's Day?
that sounds like the sort of rumor that
That's impossible to
somebody might
prove.
start.
Yeah.
Well, it was the band that said it. I saw the interview. I was very...
okay.
I
think
don't
that-
know where you get the data for that.
Come on, let's get back
How
to
did
business.
How do they make that? I think we should start using taglines like that.
Track 1, Women. So for me, you were saying about it being, is it the right opening track? This brings back echoes of Rock of Ages in the feel and the laboured groove
Mm-hmm.
in the verses, and I wondered whether they used that as a bit of kind of familiarity,
Could be.
because it obviously Rock of Ages from Pyromania was such a big track, big album.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I've always, I kind of know it. It's just part of childhood for me. So it always sounds like the opening song to me. I like that line, that guitar line that you first hear. That I haven't got an electric guitar, so I won't play it to you. But
That's lucky.
I've got an acoustic one.
Oh,
It's not that lucky. Do you want to hear it? These notes. Hang on. It's an octave low to start with, isn't it? Then it goes there.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop now.
Yeah.
So
That sounds like an opening to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just maybe you said about the laboured groove. It hasn't got that massive big bang, in. But it's got, it's an amazing song. I love the chorus. I think it's been singing it all week.
Oh, the chorus. Brett, while I got a guitar ready. Hang on, look, this bit. That's my favourite bit of the song. Listening back to it is that where's the single note line? then
For
you
sure.
get the chords there. That
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
Yeah.
cool that it's
That's
just
a-
one
that's an
note
awesome
and not
riff,
a
isn't it?
not a power
it is
chord.
an awesome
You'd
riff.
expect that to be,
Yeah.
but the fact it's not. I like that. That's
Yeah.
my favourite bit of the song.
It sets the scene for the whole album, doesn't it? Everything's there. The big sounds are there.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
that
backing
stompy
vocals
section,
are
isn't
there.
there? That bass and drum stompy section that just like I read that felt exciting to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something I've noticed, because I listened to the album again for like you, Jodie, for the first time. I can't say I wouldn't remember the last time I listened to the album in its entirety. Probably, I don't know, it was about 7 or something. But the listening back to it is I've never taken in the lyrics from the album. I was too young to kind of get it. It was all about sound, and I
It was
really
sound and vibe, wasn't it? I think when you
and as
that age.
now listening back to the lyrics, you think, I'm not so sure about some of the lyrics on this. Also, what I learned about, and you'll like this, is how much I'd misheard or been singing the wrong lyrics.
As
So-
I said, yeah,
There's a lyric in this song that I thought, oh God, why was I? I'm glad I didn't sing out loud. I hope I didn't. Or if I was 7, I'd probably got away with it. But it says, "What's that spell?" And I thought he was singing "What's that smell?"
brilliant.
I know. Just listening back to it later, it's like, what was I thinking? Why was he singing "What's that
Do
smell"?
you know, I was the same.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, until this week.
Oh no way! Oh, I'm glad I don't feel so daft now.
Jumps, brothers.
What's
Brilliant.
bad is that I've been lucky enough to see Def Leppard live, and I've probably shouted it out.
Oh, no.
What's that smell?
In amongst the crowd, what's that smell?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why are people looking at me?
That's funny. Funny. Brilliant.
I love the last verse in particular in this song with the vocals, the bass, and the drums. There's a really cool groove and feel to it.
Yeah.
Like just the three of them are really in sync. Yeah, it's great. I think it's a strong opening track.
I like
Yeah.
the outro solo is a cool touch, isn't it? It just that makes it
Yeah.
sound less pop and less. It's more like they were a rock band, so
Yeah.
there's a outro guitar solo,
Yeah.
and there's huge layers that sets the tone for the album.
It's
Isn't there?
layered.
Huge layers of keyboard, of guitars. It's mental, and backing vocals. They're insane.
we need to
just-
we need to touch on the drums at some point because it's this is a tough one for me
It's,
because
go on.
well because obviously the Rick Allen story and what he went through and losing his arm and rehab and becoming a drummer again, absolutely incredible, and watching him live and what he can do and achieve is fantastic. But as an album, it is commonly known that this album was it's drum machine, isn't it? It was programmed. It wasn't him playing.
And the drums were actually put on last.
They were put on last.
So that the songs were all written
Yeah.
or recorded, arranged, because the arrangements kept changing, didn't they?
Nope. I got something to add to this that Brett told me the other day when we were in your car, Brett, and
Yeah.
you said that you thought the album before this, Pyromania,
Yeah.
was also the same. That it,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, no. And
Uh-huh.
again, I probably haven't listened to that since I was probably 6.
Did you go home and listen to it?
I listened to the start of a couple of tracks and went, blimey, you're right.
Mm.
It is. It's that massive. It's a very digital, big snare drum. That's
It was at the very early stages of drum machines,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
And Mutt Lange was so experimental.
I wonder how
Um,
Rick Allen thought, like losing his arm and the ability to play with 2 arms on, acoustic drums, knowing that the album before, when he had both arms, wasn't, he
I think
wasn't
the
able to
process,
play.
the recording process, was all part of it. Writing parts and creating
Yeah, of
all
course,
of that.
he-
The same as the
yes.
guitars. You can't.
Yeah.
There's like I don't know how many guitar parts there are. There's endless guitar parts in these. You can't with 2 guitar players live at that point
Sure.
recreate that. So you work out how can we represent this live. And I guess he was the same way.
Yeah.
It was all about creating the songs as opposed to a musical performance, I think.
What
But
was interesting about his rehabilitation and him trying to get his head around that he couldn't do like the big fills and the stuff that you might.
Mm-hmm.
Mutt Lange sort of said to him, you want these songs to come across really well in arenas and stadiums, and you don't want to be doing fussy fills.
Yeah.
You want to be doing big, simple
Yeah.
fills, which is this album is absolutely
They ha-
chock-a-block full of,
Yeah.
isn't it?
They have these very clever, like offbeat stuff, like fills. It's a very Def Leppard sound that I learned through
Yeah.
listening to this album, and it makes it very durable for him. But they are big sounds.
Yeah.
But for me, I love to hear. I love acoustic drums. I love a drummer's feel. I love to talk about that kind of thing. So it's a tough one because
But you
it's-
see, I'll disagree with you there, because if you listen to them live now,
yeah,
that is Rick Allen's feel.
it is.
You know,
but
Rick,
this-
he sounds like he is
Yeah.
a powerhouse
yeah,
of a drummer,
he
isn't
is,
he?
and he plays that. But
What
he's-
was he called? What was his?
What?
Thunder God. Didn't they used to call him the Thunder
The
God? Do I
Thunder
remember
God,
that,
yeah,
or am I
yeah, that's
muddling
right.
him up with
That was on the
Thundercats or
video.
something? That was
That
that
was on the
Thundercats
video.
or Mask. Transformers.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Track 2, Rocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't realise the Satellite of Love line was what Joe was singing when they were writing it. Was stolen from Lou Reed, a Lou Reed song.
Yeah. Well, they're all lyrically. This song is it's all musical kind
That's
of references,
right, and
isn't it?
that's what I heard him say, is that he stumbled across this Satellite of Love line and then thought, I'm going to write a song about all the bands I grew up listening to, and so it appeals to everyone like me,
But
which is really cool.
what
isn't
I
it?
don't get about obviously Sergeant Pepper and the band, Ziggy, Jack Flash, Rocket Man, all these things are
Yep.
mentioned in it. Is it then the chorus is we just got to fly? I can take you to the center of the dark. We're going to fly. I get that, and then I'll
Yep.
be your rocket, Satellite of Love. Is he going to be? Oh, I guess he's the satellite of music, isn't he? He's the rocket to take you off.
Yeah.
I get it.
Is that what you got from that, Brett?
Well, I don't know. I don't know really what I got from it, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't really understand from a lyrical point of view. What I did love about it is the shuffle groove, and I thought, and you guys will go, what are you talking about? But Adam and the Ants, that shuffle groove, early 80s, that
Yeah, that coming. But I think they were
it's very glam. I find it very
I
glam.
think
This
Joe
song.
Joe Elliott, the singer's very into
He's
glam.
that's his thing. Yeah.
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 But it
very
does
much
remind me of
70s
an
glam rock.
Adam and the Ants song, and
Yeah.
so I'm
It's a very different feel, though, isn't it, for track 2?
yeah.
And listening back to this, I always remember it as being like track 6 or 7. I don't know why. So when it came up as track 2, I kind of thought it's interesting.
It's
I
an
really
unusual
like
track.
Rocket. It's a cool
you?
song. Yeah, I do. But I find it's an interesting choice for track 2.
Is that
And it's a
section?
very long middle section.
yeah, that
that-
middle
Yeah.
section is just like I
It's
think it's like
just
2.5
track-
minutes.
Track 2 on a like multi-platinum massive
It was
album.
a single as well. It's a hit
Was it?
single.
They must have
Yeah.
done an edit because they wouldn't have had that.
Yeah. I think they edited out the bit in the middle. The bit in the middle is interesting, though, isn't it?
It's
Because you've got all
interesting,
these
but-
weird vocal effects
Yeah,
going
like
on.
panning all over the place.
And I think I remember hearing that Phil Collins say that the backwards bit
yeah,
is Gods of War backwards.
Oh, is it?
It's obviously been flipped around, but and he referred to the fact that they were all in the studio doing these kind of monk type chants, and how weird it felt, and Mutt was just go with it, it's going to be great.
weird.
See, for me, this used to be a point where I'd pick the needle up and drop it over to the next song.
Okay,
I
Mm.
couldn't even press skip.
Yeah.
It wasn't one for me.
okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I like the chorus. I think the chorus is you sing the chorus, don't you? You go to
It's
Def
a
Leppard gig.
massive chorus, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a massive chorus, but,
But
it's just
you don't like the verse bits where you get the tempo shift.
No, tempo shift's all right, but
yeah.
Yeah.
not much more in there for me.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh, well, even 7-year-old me. I don't even know if I was 7.
Okay,
Probably
track
wasn't
3,
that.
Animal,
Big single.
big single.
Big
Mhm.
single, so melodic.
Yes.
And
This
also,
is sorry.
for me, sorry, there's a couple of things about this song. Obviously, it's very, very, very produced, but it's so brilliantly crafted as a song.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also, it's the first time there's a lyric on the album where I think, oh yeah, I like that. Where he goes, "Oh, I burn for you." I think I like that, and
Mhm.
his vocal performance in the verse, I really like.
Yep.
It's where he actually almost, it doesn't sound over. It's quite
There's
produced.
a lot of
but
space in the verse, isn't there? There's nice space, I think.
It's
in the
nice to
verse.
hear him sing lower.
Yeah. I
And-
think that's what you're hearing, Rick, is
Yeah.
that he's usually pushing his range, isn't he? He's quite high.
Yeah.
It's interesting listening to him now because he works between chest voice and head voice.
Is it a head voice that he sings everything in?
I don't know if it was
Not then.
back when it was recorded, but now he seems to switch between, and it's
Right.
it's really smooth.
Yeah.
He does it really well. But I think because he's singing in that lower register in chest voice,
But I
it's got a
quite
lot
enjoy
more
that.
warmth and depth.
The key changes in it are awesome. Can I talk about the key changes?
Yes,
Is that all right? Would you like to know what they are? No.
Uh,
Okay. All right. No. Right, moving on.
tumbleweed.
Oh, I'm going to tell you anyway now because it's really unusual. The shifts in it. The verse that so B flat C D minor, that sort of vibe. Then it jumps to this for the pre-chorus. So you're up a semitone to start that.
And you're going to sing then.
I was, and then I thought better of it. Whoa! And just you think, crikey, that's hell of a change, and it jumps to a chorus, which then changes key again, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you get 3 changes. The 3 sections are
But there's also another change. Before the solo, There's a key change as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
E minor in there
Let's
somewhere.
talk about that a little bit before the solo.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of these sort of weird noises that he's making there.
What, the animal noises?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what
And
you
does he
are a
say,
fan
"What
of.
if they're gonna hurt
There's more
you like
reverse
an animal
lyrics
or
going
hunt
on here
you
as
like
well,
an
isn't there?
animal?"
Hunt you.
I thought so.
Hunt you like an animal.
Hunt you like an animal. But it sounds a little bit,
But we know
bit
what.
too menacing for me.
You're a bit scared.
I wasn't scared, but I expect you were, Brett.
I was shitting myself.
Knowing your history with heavy metal and being scared.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
this heavy metal?
There's no heavy metal about this at all, is there?
With you like a sound. We talked about Rage Against the Machine recently, but obviously
Uh-huh.
it didn't take long to get back to Rage Against the Machine from Def Leppard, did it? And you love a good and he
Me?
does one of those. No, Jody.
I do, but it's a different tone.
Oh, I don't know if
it's
it's
just a
when it
section
goes
that-
into that bit when he goes that's all right.
It's a section that I wasn't overly fond of, but I do agree with what you were saying at the start of talking about this song, where it highlights everything about this album.
Yes.
Is all in this song.
Yes,
the
yeah.
production,
Mhm.
the amazing production, and
You forget that this is like 40 some odd years old now. When you
Is
put
it?
headphones on and you listen to what's going on and how
Hang on, it's not
it's not 40 years old.
You've got the maths wrong.
was it's 38 years old.
something, isn't
Oh.
it?
38 years.
Blimey.
Yeah.
So when you think about that and you try and there's me kind of critiquing like drum machine sounds, and actually back then when you do listen to
Oh,
it
it was-
now,
it
it
was-
stands up now.
Yeah.
You know, the sounds,
That's
and
what I
the
mean, the-
quality of the production.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
groundbreaking, I
Musicianship.
guess, at that
Yeah.
time in 1987. That
Yeah.
that mix of kind of digital and synth and
Yeah.
vocals and all of those layers with electric guitars, I
Yeah.
think was probably quite
that's-
new.
That was the thing, wasn't it? That people were experimenting with drum machines since in
Yeah, yeah.
pop. That wasn't new, but putting the electric guitars to it.
Yeah.
Even Michael Jackson's stuff where he had that similar sound, but he had electric guitars in it. Was fleeting, wasn't it? Like Beat It and stuff. It was just bits of guitar. And
Yeah.
Mm.
not-
Okay, track 4, Love Bites.
I'd like get to talk about the whammy bar dives
Before
into
you
the
talk
solo
about
of
the
Animal.
whammy bar, have you got the lyrics there, Rick?
To
To
Love
Love
Bites.
Yeah. The first two lines.
Now
I can-
I'm going to tell you. I've got a story about this.
I
It's
want-
not,
I
it's not a
want Rick-
personal story.
I want Rick to quote the first two lines
do you want me to read them out?
in the 50 Shades of Grey kind of styling. Go on.
What?
Like
got love in your sights,
Oh no,
love bites.
he means the
No, the
first
verse.
song.
I was
verse
going to say I
lines
can't
there.
do the Terminator
no,
voice at the
not
start.
the Terminator.
Oh,
No, the verse.
Was that the T1000?
that's my Terminator voice. That's as good as it gets. Oh no. Well, no, I know where you're going with this, Brett. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going
Why?
to fall for
Okay,
Why?
so
Jody, do it.
well, from memory,
Go on. do
you're
it.
like a child.
No,
Jody, do it.
Don't do it like a child. Do it like a.
it. I'm gonna-
When you make love, do you
Do
look in the mirror?
What the fuck's all that about? What?
Who do you think of? I think that's probably because it rings a bell with you, Brett. It rings
Doesn't
true
leave me out of it.
because you
I was because
you
it's-
make
I-
love looking in the mirror.
I was ahead of my time with the females when this was out.
Ahead of my time with the females.
I understood the lyrics of this album more than what you boys did in
Okay.
1987.
What's that smell then, Brett?
Oh dear, no.
I just
I know
find
it.
it.
Yeah, you see,
It's
that-
women.
But what I'm talking about is that the groundbreaking album and this big massive album, the very cheesiest opening lines to
okay,
a song.
Oh, careful, we can't.
so the story goes, Mutt Lange, he brought this song in.
Producer Robert Mutt. We should have. Have we
Robert
done
John
that already?
Mutt Lange.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows who he is.
Okay.
Mr. Shania Twain,
Shania Twain,
Mr.
like-
X Shania Twain.
Yeah, they're not together anymore, are they?
They're not. So he brought this song in and sat down and played it. I think he had the
Did he?
first verse,
I didn't know that.
and his whole pitch to the band was, if we do this right, we can cross over into the country market.
Really?
And yeah, I think it's not something I've ever done, but I think if you probably played this in a country style acoustic guitar, or did some sort of acoustic version of it, it would come across quite country.
Okay.
So that was Mutt Lange's thinking.
Wow.
But I agree, Brett. It's a questionable.
It's very questionable.
opening to
it
a
did
song.
make me laugh. In fact, I put on my notes, laughing emojis.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so much.
Do you think the love bites thing is a bit of a double meaning?
I think
You know, like as in
love
bite.
comes back to bite you. You mean?
Well,
So
but
this
also like as a love bite.
So do you think
Probably.
Mutt Lange's responsible for these cool key changes? Because this has got it as well, hasn't it? It goes. So it's in D minor.
Yeah.
Does it look like me? Or is it like Brett or whatever Brett's thinking of? And then it goes into a pre-chorus and it goes.
Yeah.
It's this great change. Upper semitone again. Genius. But
Yeah.
they don't let-
I think it could be. It's probably best you don't sing and play, really. I think we might lose a listener or two.
We only got two.
Try not to swear then.
Yeah.
I was thinking about chords. I didn't hear what you said. And the chorus changes again.
We've lost
you
him.
don't need to do it.
We've lost him.
Okay, so it's brilliant. Brilliant. Is that Mutt Lange then, those key?
Yeah, he's on the phone. Stop singing his song.
He's just got about 3p from me doing that, hasn't he? Surely. Let's go and get himself another Shania.
So, all right. This song, the long pre-chorus, the long first pre-chorus.
I really like the pre-chorus.
I love the pre-choruses, and what I really love is when the clean picked guitar comes in after the line. Love is the way you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get that change from, is it G, F sharp to E minor?
I don't know. You two took the mic. I couldn't work it out properly.
It's something like that, but it's that classic change where, do.
Yeah, it's beef.
But what I love about that guitar line is in the second pre-chorus, which is shorter than the first pre-chorus, that guitar line comes in earlier.
Yes.
Which you
There's a
you're
few
not
of those
expecting,
things on the
are you?
album
But
which is
and
really
then
nice.
the chorus is brought in by
That-
Joe's. Oh!
You mean this bit, don't you?
That's it. So you've gone
A flat,
G, A flat, F sharp.
E flat over G, F.
Yeah.
No, F minor.
Yes.
No, F,
Sorry.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Really nice.
Really
tune.
nice. Yeah. Very massively melodic, catchy chorus.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pre-chorus is the bit of this song that I really like.
Yeah. Yes, it's my favourite part of the song.
There's a few really cool aspects in this song, that, apart from the key changes, and I actually quite like, despite what Brett said, I quite like the mirror.
Oh
Oh,
We knew it.
God.
Brilliant.
We knew it.
Brilliant.
You've caught him, Brett, haven't you?
Oh, no.
He loves the mirror.
I was going to say I like the words to this song, but I've ruined it now.
Do you like the opening lines, then, Rick?
No, not so much
No.
those. Not anymore, especially. Thanks.
That's what's stuck in my head. In fact, when I think
Yeah.
about this album, those 4 lines.
He
stick in
thinks
my
of
head.
himself in the mirror.
The,
move
the electronic voice I'm not a big fan of in this.
No.
But what I do love is the guitar solo, because it's so
Yeah.
all the guitar solos are quite understated in this, but this has got a really different sound. It's Steve Clark, isn't it? Which
Yeah, I think there's moments where you can actually tell which is
I
Steve
think
and which
they've
is Phil
got
as
really
a non-guitar player.
clear personalities. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's a Strat as well, which is unusual single coil pickup Fender Stratocaster
It
sound.
was a Strat in the video, wasn't it?
Ooh, probably, yeah. But it sounds like that to me, which is different for him. He's usually a bit of a sort of humbucker Gibson type player.
Yeah. Now, I think this song was also Def Leppard's first and possibly only #1 single.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
I thought it was something random, like what's the one they did afterwards? Like Do You Want to Get Rocked or whatever that was called? Is it called? Do You
No,
Wanna Get
I don't think so. Don't write in if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Track 5, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Classic.
Yep, heard this one before.
Yeah. This is I'm going to throw this one out there. Is this one of the best songs of the decade and genre?
Do you think there's a little bit of Queen in this?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
Will Rock You.
Yep.
You didn't answer my question, Brett.
I think it's it sums up the 80s brilliantly. I think it sounds so 80s.
Well, your question was: is it one of the biggest?
Was it one of the best songs of the genre of the 1980s heavy metal
Oh, I guess
rock?
it could
pop?
be.
Metal pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think
But
so.
there were some genius songs written beforehand that this is probably stemmed or emulated or
yeah.
borrowed from. So it's a tough one, isn't it? If Queen didn't exist, would this song have existed?
Quite possibly not. Yeah. No, and then Joe Elliott was a big Freddie Mercury and Queen fan.
Mhm.
So this was actually the last song written and recorded, wasn't it, for the album?
Yes,
I think
heard
they
that.
pretty much finished, but Joe was playing around with the chorus and Mutt overheard it
Oh, okay.
and sort of said, "What are you doing? That sounds good." And then allegedly, the pair of them sat down and wrote a stream of consciousness for lyrics, which is why the lyrics are
Do you want to know my thoughts
little
on the
different.
lyrics?
Random.
a little random.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lyrics are really good. You're not expecting me to say that, are you?
Nope.
Because in the same way that, and am I quoting Springsteen here? Maybe. Was it Springsteen who was on about Little Richard's Tutti Frutti, where he goes, wah baba loo baba wah bamboo? It doesn't mean anything, but it means everything at the same time. It's
Mhm.
like one of those things that it doesn't matter what it means. It just sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's what rock
Yeah.
music is.
Yep.
And I think this is just an 80s version of that.
Yeah.
You find yourself singing along with odd words of it, but in my case, probably wrong. But
it's
doesn't
got
matter.
it's got the rhythmical hook, isn't it?
Yeah.
The verses
Yeah,
have
for
got that
sure.
rhythmical hook, and then the chorus has got that big kind of fist in the air.
pour some
know.
sugar on me. What a great title for this sort of thing. For
Yeah.
it's the whole, for that kind of Bon Jovi, Poison, White
Mhm.
Snakey, Motley Crue, Def Leppard-y, lyric-y thing that was going on
Yeah.
around that time.
And Joe Elliott way ahead of his time talking about a red iPhone.
Really?
It was a radar
Yeah,
phone.
I was going to say red iPhone. That's like,
Who'd have thought they'd make coloured iPhones?
Yeah.
Nice one, Joe.
oh,
And this song, when it came out, this was I think the album absolutely blew up when this came
Mhm.
out as a single, which was it came out August '87.
story
This came out
story
in
where-
'88.
goes because it was massive in strip clubs, didn't it? That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it was. It somewhere like Florida or something.
I
It
don't
kind
know.
of started. and
I
then
was
it
only
just
7. I
spread.
don't know. I didn't.
I did- I did-
weren't thinking
Were
about
you-
what the smell
did
was.
you know, Brett?
I saw an interview where they were saying they were worried about it was a bit of a slow burner, and they were like they had the big debt, and for the first few months it was like not
Yeah.
really doing great, and then this came out, and then it blew up, especially in
Boom.
Canada.
There's a great key change into the chorus of this, which is
Yeah.
unusual.
Yep.
Because the verse is E, it's like a dominant E kind of,
Yep.
just an E, isn't it? E. And then it jumps up a tone for the pre-chorus, F
Yeah.
sharp to B. And I can't think of many songs that do this. The last bit of the pre-chorus goes, you get the chords that pre-state what the chorus is going to do. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Where it goes, and then the chorus.
Yeah. And do you think the way
Great.
you've got that da 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 da
What-
is just
And
really
what's that?
it's
What
like
bit's that?
it's a little bit like I Love Rock and Roll, isn't it? Where you've
Oh,
got that that kind of feel.
yeah.
You know, it's really accentuating the chorus line.
Yeah.
You missed me playing I Love Rock and Roll. I just,
Yeah, we decided to drown you out
Yeah,
there.
okay, cool.
Track 6, Armageddon it.
Oh, can I play that? Are you listening? Hang
No,
on.
that's it. Yep.
Do you think,
do
do
you
what-
get where this is the title for this is from, Brett?
I don't know, but it's a bit
Oh,
of a
you
play
could-
on words, isn't
It's
it?
well, it's a bit. I think it's a bit of good old fashioned Yorkshire humour. They are from Yorkshire, aren't
Sheffield.
they? Sheffield.
yeah.
Is that
I-
Yorkshire?
yes, yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you getting it?
Yeah,
Armageddon,
Armageddon. So I
Yeah.
get the play on words.
Yeah.
Are you getting it as in like? Are you getting a bit? You
Yeah.
haven't- like, what, a bit of nookie?
Yes.
The word nookie in years.
Nookie. I haven't said that for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm very polite on this podcast. Sometimes.
Yeah,
Probably
right.
for the better.
I really changing the subject quickly. I really love the intro reminds me of Steve Clark's riffs from I guess it's Steve Clark, Photograph and
Yeah.
Yeah.
things like that. It's a classic rock riff, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
And I love his play. I've got a bit of a Steve Clark soft spot for Steve Clark because before I could play guitar, I loved guitars and I loved the look of him and just everything about him. He was
Yeah.
just so cool, long blonde hair, really. Just he had the coolest Gibson guitars. He had the coolest stage moves as well. He'd move around on stage just in such a cool way.
Yeah.
There's something really
Really
magical about him.
low slung guitar.
And I remember being a kid and just that's really, the guitar around his knees.
Yeah.
And just seeing this, I don't get it. I don't understand it clearly. But,
Yeah.
and then it was on the news that he was dead. It's like, blimey.
Yeah.
It was, I think that had a
Yes.
profound effect on kind of my interest in guitars and before I could play, if that makes sense, before I was into guitars.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this song is that I can hear him and his style in it.
Yeah.
Especially the solo as well. And it's so melodic and so different than Phil Collins' approach to it and the 80s approach of guitar solos, which is usually very, I'm careful how I say it, distorted, kind of melodic, high, widdly at times and sometimes focused on technique. and his stuff was always just from a different place.
Yeah.
I really like that.
He had a bit more of a classical background, didn't he?
I don't know about that.
I think he had might not be that he could play classical, but I think he had like a more of an interest in that as well. So I think that's why one of the songs coming up, Gods of War, that riff, that main riff is one of his riffs, isn't it?
Because
And it's
interestingly,
just a bit different from your normal typical kind of 80s rock guitar player.
at times, yeah, I mean, the early Def Leppard stuff was very standard rock, classic rock to me. But yeah, it's just a little bit cleaner and played in a different way
Yeah.
than usual.
Yeah. This song, I think, if you were explaining to somebody about this album, it would be this song or Pour Some Sugar on Me that I would choose to play, because they both have
Oh, okay.
the
yeah.
Hysteria sound. Everything is in there, and you can really, when you listen to it, you can really hear how meticulously written and arranged every single part of this
Oh
song
yeah.
is, because it does go in and out of different sections, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the pre-chorus and the into the chorus and everything is.
Mm.
There's a lot in this song.
I think this song is where I can really hear Mark Lang's influence in the verses of this. It could be, to me, although
Yeah.
you've got the guitar rockiness, it could also be Shania Twain or Bryan Adams, who he
Yes.
famously produced and and wrote with as well.
Yep.
And married in Shania
Not
Twain.
Bryan Adams.
No. It was just a rumor, I think. But Shania Twain, he definitely married.
Yeah,
He didn't go off
yeah.
with Bryan Adams when. No, never mind. Yeah, I can really hear that in this.
Okay, you might be able to answer me a question here.
Is it about the key change into the chorus?
Nope.
Oh,
As good as that is,
it is.
does he
correct.
say, "Come on, Steve, get it," or "Come on, Steve, hit it"?
Get it? Surely, because come on, Steve, are you getting it? It's got to be that, isn't it?
I couldn't. I've
Oh,
listened to this a
Steve,
lot,
yeah.
and I've always done the "Come on, Steve," but
You've not been confident with what he said after that. You don't know what you want Steve to do.
sound more like a preacher.
What do you think Steve did, Brett?
Did he get it or did he
I
hit
don't know.
it?
He smelt it.
Oh no!
I think get it. I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I think
Let's
it's
go
get
with
it.
Sense,
Yeah, oh, you
doesn't it?
get almost like, come on, Steve, you getting it?
Yeah.
And then play a guitar solo for Steve.
And also, we haven't talked about the bass playing on this album yet.
Well, I was going to take it in the next track because that's the
Okay.
standout bass. But
Do you mind if I mention?
please
do you mind
do, please
mention
do.
Sav.
it's
And
understated. I
he is
think.
understated, and
Yeah.
I think he's a great bass player, and he's like the glue. He's
Mhm.
he's just there playing along.
But it's not isn't it? It's not a feature, is it? It's not.
It's
No,
not a
but
feature.
I think a lot of them are all band players, and they're all about writing the song. I think he writes a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's really involved in the writing. But in this song, in the last part, I think it's the last "Are You Getting It" section.
Yeah.
You can hear him, and he's sliding up.
Right.
It's almost playing it like like you go doo 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 doo, that kind of slide.
Yeah.
He's doing that with the bass, and it's really tasteful.
Oh, I think I know. I know. When
and
you
it's
mean
only
this
one
song,
of few moments where the bass
stands out.
stands out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I thought it was worth mentioning.
Interesting.
How what a valuable part of the team Rick Savage is.
Yeah. Yep.
And no other musician in history works the stage like Rick Savage. Am I right? Am I right, Rick?
I know what you mean. He's got I can always remember him with like the Madonna mic, whatever they call. Like
That's
the
right,
wireless
yeah.
mic that's just
That's
attached
it.
to your ear, so you can sing wherever you are. Can you
Love ya.
imagine with one of us like with that? Just imagine. I can't imagine not being able to shout at each other away from a mic. Or
Yeah, that must have caught him out a few times, mustn't it? Or he's had a Naked Gun moment where he's gone to the loo and
I'd be a nightmare. I would.
Well, you would. You're a nightmare anywhere when there's a mic in front of you, let
I
alone
know.
if it's attached to you.
I know. Dreadful.
How would you
Yeah.
do that? Amount of times I'd have turned around and go, "Yo, my arm's on fire!" And then you shout it out to a whole.
Yeah, but no, great performer, Rick Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, track number 7.
Oh, I got to turn. Hang on, this was where I had to turn my vinyl over.
So God's War, yeah, and
This
I
is
love
this is the
sorry.
this is the part as far as bass playing goes that stood out for me, because the bass sound in this is something that we get close to this bass sound. There's
Oh,
that
do we?
kind of dirtiness about. There's a bass. I don't know. It just feels
So
really.
you're talking about the drum and bass just kind of sitting.
Yeah, but just the
sitting
bass
back.
sound. It's just got such a great bass sound. It just seems to stand out in this track more than anything else in the album. I just suddenly thought, actually you can hear him, and
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
Does that mean you might be?
And there's that slight bit of flanger, isn't there, of a few bars?
I was
where
going to say that's where I was going. Are you going to be receptive to a bit of flanging on your
I
drums,
like
Brett?
the flange because I've done it again. Every podcast I come out with an innuendo.
Well, not just one usually.
But the flanger, the way that they work together, just for that couple of bars, isn't it? And it's just, I thought,
Bit of drum flange, yeah, it's
bit
great.
of drum flange, amazing.
I really like the start of this song, and I like the fact that you get that kind of feel of it being side two.
Yeah.
You know, you flip your vinyl over, and it's like, oh yeah, nice bit, and it's almost like you've got that build all over again.
I also
really
think
like
this
it.
is a little bit reminiscent of Pyromania, like Die Hard the Hunter, or what's the
Yeah.
other one on that?
Yeah.
Not Billy Get Your Guns. Billy, don't.
Oh
no, let myself down. Something about Billy and
no.
a gun. Or Billy.
oh no,
Oh God.
this is bad.
Oh yeah.
Come back, think and come back to it.
I will. In other words,
Do you
gonna Google it.
do you think that the vocals are mixed really quiet on this track?
I don't think the vocals
I
are
think
mixed
this
quite
this
on any
track
of it,
is
are they?
less poppy than some of the others, so I think the vocal sits more in the mix, but I don't think
Wow.
it's quiet.
I thought it was noticeably quiet.
Oh, that's
but that- yeah.
interesting.
That's with headphones on as well. That's like listening, really.
Billy's
critically.
got a gun.
Billy's got a gun.
Billy's.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I could have told you that.
You were thinking of Billy, get your guns.
Billy, get your gun.
Don't get him going.
Oh God, did you? Then you
Um,
moaned about my singing. What was that?
Yeah. We'll have to edit that out. So I've got a question for you. In the intro to this song,
Yeah.
having listened back to it now as an adult, and so I haven't heard it for a few years probably, and you've got the synth noises and the explosions and the gun noises.
Mhm.
It made me remember being young and not being able to make a machine gun noise.
What?
Do you,
What?
do you not remember being young and you'd be in the playground?
Oh, is
and
this the Peter Kay thing where you'd run him again?
Yeah, and mine was terrible.
Could you never do it?
No, my
I
gun
could-
was awful.
Can
So
you do one, Brett?
I was
I
going to
don't-
ask you if you could do one,
Yeah.
not like do one as in leave, but do a machine gun
Yeah.
noise.
That sounds like a laugh.
Best machine gun.
You see, that's like mine. Mine was
You sound like a goat.
Yeah.
Both of you are rubbish.
Come on.
We're like
I
a
can't do it because I'm being filmed. I got to do it away from the camera because I've
couple of
got a
goats.
vague idea of what I might
No,
look like
go on,
doing
do
this.
it.
I'll
Go
do it
on.
away from the camera.
Oh,
Can't hear you.
I spat all
can't
over the
hear-
desk.
you sound like a tractor.
Can you do it?
So that's a good one, isn't it? I think that's good. I hope it's good. That's the best thing I can do.
We are so random.
That's your special skill.
We
That is
are
my
so
special
random.
skill. I've now
Um,
just got to mop up.
Back to Gods of War.
Oh,
I love the when the riff kicks in this. It's Steve Clark's riff, as we just talked about.
Yeah.
And that feel changes, and you get
That
this kind of big
that E
dramatic
open
dun,
high E
dun.
pedal note. That sort of thing's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what I
don't
hear
know
in this
it
song as well? Van Halen.
Do you?
Yeah. There's a guitar part in it. It reminds me very much of Van
Is
Halen.
it that?
No.
The way you play it on the acoustic sounds like a bit of an Irish jig. I want to tap out a bit of a dance in here.
Top of the morning.
No,
Of course, I'm using acoustic guitar to demonstrate things that there's not an acoustic guitar on this album, is there?
yeah.
No,
Is
I don't
not,
think there is
not one
anywhere.
anywhere.
No, I don't think there is.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's got an awesome key change in this song as well. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, go.
Go on. So it goes from the verse is minor, isn't it? Na, 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 na. I'm not going to sing, am I?
Okay.
So it's in a C sharp minor, F sharp, A kind of vibe,
Yeah.
and then the chorus goes pre-chorus. I'm not singing.
Yeah. Sounds like singing.
I'm not singing.
Yeah.
And then there's the second pre-chorus which goes
Yeah. Nice lift.
that sort of thing, which is, and then when it does go to the chorus, it's oh no, I'm not sure I know it. God,
That's right.
that's some
Yeah.
great key changes.
So when
through
that chorus finally comes in, because they've teased, they've gone to a pre-chorus and you think, oh, chorus is coming,
yeah,
and then it drops back to that verse.
Yep.
When it hits that first chorus, it's like boom, isn't it? It's like it's massive.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is that they didn't overdo it. And
what do you
get
mean?
that-
I think there's a lot of things that are quite overdone. On
Yeah,
this.
no, but they didn't overdo. The chorus isn't long, is it?
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know, because Joe breaks back in with that line. Is it? But I'm a rebel,
yeah.
and it kind of crashes back down again to that. And I ain't gonna fight no more, no way. And then you go back into that cool riff again.
Do you? While we're talking about that sort of thing, the outro where it goes to A minor.
Yeah.
There's something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like earlier stuff like Foolin' or
Yeah.
Bringing on a Heartache.
Yeah. I think this has got a earlier Def Leppard all over it. This
I
song.
don't remember it when I was a kid, but listening back to it now, I have a bit of an issue with the lyrical subject. Do you find that?
I think it's a bit generalised, isn't it?
Well, not only is it a little bit, I find I struggle a bit with all the outro of the presidents talking and
We
the war
counted on
effects
America to
and,
be passive.
yeah, and the sound effects, which are completely.
Yeah.
I
like
couldn't.
a-
I couldn't even get close with my sound
It's like a
effects.
bad Pink Floyd.
Ooh.
Do you know when I was listening to it earlier, I was still trying to go Didn't really hear much.
I don't know. I just lyrically, for me, listening back to it, doesn't sit with the rest of the album, which is kind of fun pop rock, sort
Yeah.
of disposable.
Do you think this might have been their stab at kind of like
Something a
we
little bit
are
more
seri-
serious?
We are a bit. We can be serious
yeah,
as well.
I think it's a bit incongruous. I think the way it sits in the album,
Yeah.
lyrically.
Okay, track 8. Don't shoot shotgun.
What was that? You right in there, Brett?
Yeah, I'm okay, yeah.
I was ready to do the she's so
Oh,
dangerous.
And I was going to do the gun, but I haven't got it.
I think this is a cool song.
Yeah.
This is a cool song. I have to say, I mean, from this point, you know, that those first 6, well, okay, not including Gods of War, but the first 6 songs are massive.
Would that be if
They
it's
are
not
all
including
singles.
Gods of War? That's the first 5 songs, then, isn't it?
No, it's 6.
Is it?
Yeah, Gods of War
1,
track
2,
7.
3, 4, 5. Oh, you're right.
Well
Sorry.
done, well done. Track 8, so don't shoot shotgun. 7, 8, it kind of
Tails a little bit.
yeah, it kind of
Mhm.
tails, and you can
got
see they've, you know, side 8 is absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's all killer. And then yeah, so don't shoot shotgun for me was that first moment of
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this is cool, but it's not. This isn't like as impressive.
Yeah, I got that.
It, this one, more so than anything else, to me sounds like Mutt Lange's AC/DC tenure. Do you think?
Yeah, yeah, it's got a little
Especially
bit
in that second verse, it picks up. There's a pedal B on there. That sort of
of that.
thing.
Yeah, it's
It's
very
which,
AC/DC.
which
isn't it?
yeah, it could. It's very AC/DC.
Yeah. That said, it's a cool song.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
You walk away singing it, sits in your head, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
There's a
yeah,
hook.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a really cool sort of. I can't think who it sounds like. There's like a pop guitar line in the chorus that. Oh no, it's a different song. It's popped in my head now. Do you know what? You're never in a million years you're going to guess the song that's popped in my head.
No, go on.
L7's "Pretend We're Dead." That wasn't what I was thinking of. There's like a guitar line in the chorus. That wasn't what I was thinking. I think I might have finally lost it.
Let's move on before
Oh, no.
before it all comes crashing down. Number
was-
9,
It's that shotgun sounds taking it out, mate.
track number 9, Run Riot.
Not shotgun, it's a machine gun. Run Riot. Yeah.
Run Riot.
This is another classic. When I was a kid, I have no idea what he was singing. No idea.
Yeah.
All that. I'm not going to do it, but
His Joe Elliott's voice in the verses of this
Mm-hmm.
they are I would say he is up there on the list of the top, I don't know, top 20 rock singers.
oh, do you think?
Yeah, I do. And I think the verses of this are like he could compete with pretty much anyone.
What
'Cause
in
he
like
is-
what in like range and
Yeah, just
raspiness
range,
and
rasp, tone, execution.
what?
it's
Do you
just
know what
that-
he isn't up there for? Which my issue with it.
Go on.
Diction. No idea what he's singing.
No, it's
I
it
very
is
rarely-
isn't it? But
What-
it's the,
That's,
I
is that
don't
your
wanna do
machine
it
gun
'cause
again?
I had to squeeze some bits to make.
Did you?
no.
Don't try that at home, Brett.
No. In
Um,
the mirror.
yeah, but I think his vocal performance on this is really good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
There is a really really strong. I'm trying to think where it is in this song. A really strong edit point in this song towards the end where it's the last get up, get out, done.
I know
Whatever.
what you mean, actually.
And it's
Yeah,
I don't think I can remember ever hearing. I'm not saying it's just really interesting observation that it's been cut. It's a clear tape cut where it's not just been patched and edited, but you can hear the whole song has.
yeah.
There's not even a reverb tail or something carrying over. It's been cut and it's a push into the next
Maybe
section.
that was a deliberate thing.
It was deliberate. I'm not saying they did it by accident.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what have you done? But
Was
I
it-
mean, it's very blatant. I'm surprised with the amount of time and energy that went into every.
You forget,
ounce
don't
of
you?
it,
Like
that-
how things are recorded now compared to then. Like especially
Yeah.
with
No,
drum
but just-
machines. Like
They were so meticulous with the way that things were crafted and layered. It was just quite surprising to hear that. Not back in the day, but now listening back to it.
interesting.
Yeah, write to us and let us know whether you can hear it.
Okay,
Or whether I
track
got it
10,
right.
Hysteria, title track. There we go.
Rick Allen titled this album, didn't he? Do you know the story?
Yeah,
He was in a
so-
hotel room,
yeah, I
weren't
did
they?
hear
And
that.
they were talking about him and his what he's been through and everything. He just said it's just total.
Was the
hysteria.
song going first?
No.
No.
Sav came up with that riff, didn't he?
Did he?
He did, yeah. So I think it was his kind of idea.
It's a
And I've
great,
gotta be
it's a great
completely
guitar
honest.
riff, isn't it? I think it might be the riff of the album. You know.
Well, but I was just going to say, I've got
Yeah.
to be completely honest. As a youngster listening to this, whenever I got to this track, and even on the live video, it was always a bit of a like, like I want to listen to the next song. And I think because it was kind of slower and a bit
Yeah.
more. And it wasn't until I heard a version of this by a guy called Matt Nathanson, who I probably talked to you two about.
Oh, is this a pop idol person in America?
No. He's
okay.
no. He's a singer-songwriter, but he did.
Oh
He's
yeah, I
big-
know.
big
you
Def
have-
Leppard
you
fan,
have talked
so
about. Did he
he
cover
did
the
an
whole
EP
thing?
No, he did an EP called Pyromatia.
That's it.
And he did this song, and his version is absolutely beautiful, which made me then come back to the Def Leppard version, and then I saw the beauty in it that I hadn't seen as a youngster.
I quite like listening back to this. The lyrics are good on this. I like
Yeah.
the lyrics to this.
Yeah.
And Love Bites
I
Back.
love the production. I think the
Yeah.
guitar sounds and everything on this.
The way
song
the
is just,
distorted guitar joins
Uh-huh.
that clean guitar halfway through the verse is
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
it? And do you think the layers, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
sustaining guitars, sound reminiscent of U2 and The Edge? Because I do. Well, I heard it anyway.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Mm.
Although what I did notice the other day listening to this, there's those delays in the middle where it stops. It goes,
Yeah.
They sound a little bit like seagulls. Noticed that before?
Noticed that.
Next time you hear it, listen to the delays. It's a bit like being in St Ives
Maybe
and
that was
Cornwall
the
or something.
inspiration. Track
I
11.
found myself ducking.
Track 11. Excitable.
Oh,
Are
brilliant.
you excitable, Brett?
Oh, listening to the start of this song.
You were.
Are you excited? Eh?
You were excitable.
It's rude, isn't it?
Is it?
It's rude noises going on in it.
Yeah.
I am. Well, I don't know what to say. I know what to say about this song. A couple of things for me that I've noticed is the It sounds a little bit like Huey Lewis. You ever heard that? Number one son.
Happy to be stuck with you.
So that's a.
Oh,
No. Oh yeah. Sorry. That's Borat, isn't it? Sorry.
that is
I
boring.
couldn't help that. But it does. Do you not think it's a bit of Huey Lewis about this, Brett? And the news?
In what?
What was that noise?
In what way?
Huey Lewis and the news.
Explain.
Is that like Bob and the Twins?
Explain.
What more is that? I think it's reminiscent of that vibe, of that 80s vibe, the groove, the kind of feel, the sound.
Okay.
Do you not think that like the what's it? It's hip to
Is
be
it,
square and all
like
of that
that?
stuff going on?
okay.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
not
yeah,
hear that?
I can hear that.
It also sounds
you've
to me
said
like it could be off Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That film. Do you remember
Yeah.
that classic 80s film? It had a lot of this sort of thing in it. I think.
I think as I was saying before, when you've got such a set of strong songs, the 7 singles on this are all huge.
Mm-hmm.
I know you perhaps not so keen on Rocket, but
Oh no, I'm
you know.
not, that's not my least favorite on the album.
they're all big songs. Those 7 are big songs. So I think when a song like Excitable for me is just kind of like it does really feel like filler.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing that happened. Well, it's not that interesting, but we're in Brett's car the other day, and we knew we were doing this a couple of days ago, and this song was on, Brett. Do you remember we
I
pulled
do,
up
yeah.
to the shop? And
Yeah.
Brett just left it like.
Oh no.
Yeah, they just
You
go,
have the
just
window
going,
down.
just window down, and he's just letting it blare out like not with a care in the world. And that's an interesting part of music about the coolness and about how does it make you self-conscious? How much do you play music when you're in your car or out loud where people can hear it? And I don't know if Brett, you didn't notice any sort of but I remember thinking you got that quite loud, Brett.
Were you embarrassed by it? Or by me?
I'm not. No, not.
Did I embarrass you?
I think he was embarrassed by you.
We pulled up at the shop and you did have this, like, you were talking about the album, but you had it on quite loud. And I remember thinking, yeah, that's.
Turn it off.
Mind if I reach for the volume there a minute?
Oh, okay.
Do you not feel? Obviously, you didn't.
I've got no
You got no shame.
No.
No shame.
No, me neither, Brett.
I've got no dial, no.
I'm
no
with
volume
you.
on me.
I'm with you.
Just go with the feel how I am at that time, mate.
Yeah.
So
well,
the final track on this album, track 12, Love and Affection.
Oh no.
nope, I'm not having that.
No, not for
having
you,
it.
Brett.
Not for you.
Do you know what? I sat down and I think I listened to this song 3 times and I tried to find something, and I'm not slating it in any way, but I just tried to find something to say about it, and I couldn't find anything
okay.
to say about
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I,
No,
have to
do
be
you have
really
anything
honest.
to say about it, Jed? I've got a couple things to say. About it.
It's again, it's there's nothing wrong with it, but I think it doesn't stand up to
No,
Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon,
I think this
and Hysteria. So it's a little bit of a filler track for me, and but it also feels like, I think I haven't listened to Adrenalize, which is the
that's
follow
what
up
I was
album
going
to
to say.
this in a long time. Apart from obviously you hear the hits every now and again. But from what I remember of Adrenalize, and I might have to listen to Adrenalize after doing this just to refresh my memory, but this song sounds like it could have gone on that.
Yep, I actually, when I re-listened to this when I knew that we were doing this, I thought it sounded like, and I'm going to even quote the 2 songs I thought it sounded like. Not that I've heard Adrenalize in blimmin' ages either, but no, I'm not. I can't remember the titles. Stand Up and Kick Love into Motion and
Yes.
Heaven
Yeah.
Is.
Yeah. And I think there's a song called Tonight on there as well, which I think
Oh, maybe I don't.
Yeah. it's kind of got that feel, because Adrenalize it wasn't Hysteria.
Was that going into the grunge era, or was that slang?
Yeah, no.
Was it the album after?
92, wasn't it? I think
I
Adrenalize.
don't know.
So it was. They were competing against Nirvana, which is
Bit of a different vibe.
Yeah.
Vibe. And do you think it sounds really Bryan Adams, this song? To me, it does.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can hear Mutt
Mutt
Lange's Bryan Adams influence on this.
Yeah,
It's interesting, isn't it?
yeah.
Mm.
But as an album, it's one of the finest of its genre.
I think it's genre defining is quite a good
Yeah.
way of thinking of it. Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely. Have you got a favourite track?
Have I? I don't know if I have.
Do you know
Brett?
what I think? And what I enjoyed more than anything was Run Riot,
Really?
because I
I
love
wasn't
the verse.
expecting that.
I love the verse. I love that energy and the delivery of it, and that's every time I played this album, and I played it looped a lot. When it got to this verse, I was like, yeah, loving this.
Cool.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
cool,
that's cool.
Yeah.
cool comment.
Yeah.
It wasn't the lyrics then.
But it was the verse is stronger than the chorus for me. I know it's the verse.
Oh,
that
yeah,
excited
maybe,
me.
yeah.
It's that Joe Elliott.
Yeah,
It's a killer vocal. It's
just that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you picked up the lyrics then.
I think it's
It's a little bit of thunder about that.
It's with that
verse.
Thunder.
it's got that kind of tom thing going on, isn't it? That
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I related to that more than.
Yeah. Oh, that's
anything else,
interesting.
really. So yeah,
Cool.
that would probably be mine.
Yeah, Rick.
I would have said back in the day, Armageddon it, I think. And
Yeah.
I think now listening back to it after, I don't know, a long time of not hearing this, I might go for Love Bites or Hysteria.
Interesting.
Because the ones that lyrically, to me, are...
it's that
That's
first.
those
it's those
first two
first
lines.
It's not
isn't
that,
it?
but let it go, Brett.
Joe said it first.
I know what you're doing when you get home, Brett.
You got a mirror over there, mate. I'm gonna stay there.
Oh, no.
I think I'd have to choose Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were going to
But
play
I
it,
think because it is that song. If you're going to play
Yeah.
Who Are
Yeah.
Def Leppard,
Yeah.
this is what Def
you've
Leppard are
got
about.
to put Def Leppard on the shuttle that's going out into space for aliens to listen to what who are Def
Yeah.
Leppard then? I
Mm.
suppose that's
Pour
the,
Some Sugar
Yeah,
on Me.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's the one.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Rocket would be a good one to do that with as well, Rick.
Wait,
You're going to send it to space. Be the obvious one, wouldn't
it's
it?
not powered by the music, Brett. Just to explain to the aliens.
Oh, okay.
Not as a
It'd be-
soundtrack
it'd
as
be
it's
ir-
taken off.
There would be a lot of irony about that, though, wouldn't it? On that note,
Oh man.
thanks for listening.
Please check out our band, Damn the Wolves.
Find us at damnthewolves.com and please follow us on all the usual socials.